YouTube. Come on now. I need my YouTube people to get on this message as well. Hello, hello. Good morning. It's another beautiful day. All right, just gonna wait a little bit for everyone to join, for people to join the live broadcast. Just gonna wait a little bit, give it a bit of time for people to join in the live. Yes, our network is taking a bit of time, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yes, yes, yes. We are here. We are live on all platforms officially. Thank all right, all right, all right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my people. Good morning. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I hope you can hear me. So that is it. That's okay. Yeah. So let's keep going. All right, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the live. Today is a beautiful day. It is the sixth day in the, no, it's the fifth. I'm running ahead of myself. I am running ahead of myself. Yes, it is the fifth day in the month of June, and we are live. I'm so excited. I had this whole place, reorganized, getting my live from the desktop so that way my laptop can get some rest and, and things like that. But anyway, not the point today. Let's stay focused. Focus, Dr. O. Focus, Dr. O. The message. Today's live is about just a very simple thing, the wait. The wait before you are able to launch out. So right now, I know there's a lot of people that are wondering about what does that mean, waiting? What does it look like? What does waiting look like to you? How do you wait when you are not yet able to, launch into the full momentum of everything God has for you? I just got off a phone with a good friend of mine and childhood friends, and he's going through a transitional moment, a transitional season in his life, moving a lot of things around. And the period of transition, it can be very difficult for some people, for most people, I believe everybody. I don't know if you're like me. I really do not like waiting, right? I mean, from when I was young, I just don't like waiting. I don't know if anyone else is in that WhatsApp group. I just don't like waiting. I want to be like, look, we're ready. I'm here. Let's go. Let's move this along. Someone invites me for an event. I get there in time. Of course, I'm learning to be better call people time, but it's a really bad culture. I'm really learning that. But my dad raised us up to be very, very judicious with time. If you invite my dad anywhere, if you want him to get there an hour late, give him that hour late time, because if you tell him what time to get there, that's when he's going to be shooting to get there. And I believe for most of my young life growing up in my household, my dad was always one of the first people to arrive at events, even church on Sunday. Before people are arriving, that is one thing that one of the things or disciplines that my dad instilled in us. So I typically do not have, and I don't know if it's as a result of that, but I typically do not like waiting. I do not enjoy the waiting game, waiting on a promise, waiting on a delivery, waiting on people, waiting on an appointment, waiting and things like that. I know there's been a few times that people have had to wait on me, which is always like something that bothers me so much. But I really do not like waiting. But in life, every single season has waiting incorporated into it. Seed time and harvest time. You plant the seed, you have to wait. Hello, good morning, good morning. You have to wait for the seed to go through all of the process of germination, development, and it sprouts, and then you have your fruit or your harvest, and you're able to get it. So waiting is a part of life. It's a part of the law of the universe that God created, right? In this big universe that we live in, waiting is a very significant part. And if we don't understand the concept of waiting, then we would not understand the concept of time and chance. Time and chance happens to them all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you. Yes, please do send me a DM. I would love to look at it. So yes, today we're discussing waiting. What does it mean to wait? The wait. I've had to wait for the past couple of years working through the process of trying to get back into a family situation, rather than, hop on the next opportunity. And don't get me wrong, this is more of a personal thing. Rather than hop on the next opportunity that comes along, which a lot of them have, to be remarried, I've decided to wait on God's timing. And most people have been like, what are you waiting on? What is wrong with you? You have everything, it's not like you want to, they people just make it seem like when you decide to wait, there's absolutely something wrong with you. And the reality of the matter is, even for me as a person, waiting on God, sometimes I feel like, God, what are you waiting on? Don't you see that it's the right time for you to do X, Y, Z for me? Don't you see that it's the right moment for you to bring me into this promise? And a lot of times God is saying, wait, trust me. And in the waiting moments, that is when God develops character in you. In the waiting moment is when God develops you. That's when you have the opportunity to develop your skills, to work on yourself, to become more. The wait is not the time for us to just sit down and be like, I'm waiting, I'm passing time, I'm waiting. Because eventually, after the wait, time and chance will happen. That means when the right time for you to enter into the things that God has for you comes to fullness, comes to maturity, then your waiting has ended. Now the time has come, and then the opportunity will be presented. So what you do while you're waiting is very, very important. What you do while you're waiting for your gifts to mature. For me, having the gift of speaking, I didn't automatically get presented the opportunity to speak on global stages, international stages. In fact, the first time I got an international request to speak, I was like, wow, my mentor and my friend who was able to facilitate that opportunity for me, what she said, she called me and she said, Dr. O, it's your time. In fact, when I got that call, I knew exactly what she was talking about. She did not need to say much. She just said, hey, girl, it's your time. And I'm like, yes, I'm speaking this year, aren't I? She said, yes, you are. And I was like, great. But, for many years, I had been speaking to her and, propositioning and saying, hey, I would love to be a speaker. Put me in mind when you're getting this conference together, invite me, share my name, share my resume and things like that. But for a couple of years, nothing ever happened. It was just like, okay, I had to wait. And while I was waiting, I was bringing myself into more spaces. I was speaking on smaller stages. I was speaking on webinars. I was, speaking for free for so many other organizations. I was just expressing my gifts. I was speaking on live, shows like this, getting on live. I was speaking on my YouTube channel. I was putting out content to let people know that, hey, this is a skill that I have, and I am working and I'm mastering it over and over again, and I'm getting better. Do you know that from 2018 to 2024, where we're at, I have actually learned how to create a cadence. I took a class in creating a cadence for my voice because I have a very high-pitched voice. I have this. In fact, a lot of times when I hear myself, I feel like I sound like a bird, like a Tweety bird. And I'm like, why do people want to listen to you, Inkosola? Because God has said, listen to her. Of course, they will listen. But here's the point I'm trying to make. Even though I knew that I have the gift of speaking, I've done quite a bit of work over the years to invest in myself to ensure that that gift serves me well, to ensure that I'm able to present my gift in a very, very excellent way when the time came for me to be introduced to the world. If while you're waiting, you are not building yourself up, if while you're waiting, because the reality of the matter is, just because you are gifted to do things, just because you have the gift, trust me, in the law of planting, sowing the seed, and harvesting, in between is the wait. In between is the wait. So even when you participate in my DYG challenge coming up July 1st through the 3rd, and when we go through the 3 days of intensive discovering of your gifts, we get to know the gift maker. In fact, I'm so excited at this challenge because I've been working really hard to put everything together together for all of my amazing clients and friends that are going to be participating, because this is such a significant assignment that is so heavy on my heart. You know, it's so important for me to get this right, and I can't get it right on my own. You know, God is helping me really, really put things in place, and He's sending people to really help me with the process. So when you go through the DYG challenge for 3 days and you start to, once you discover your gift and you start the journey, I want to prepare your mindset to say you're going to have a waiting period. And that waiting period is not when you become redundant and obsolete. It's not when you just go there and just say, I thought they said my gifts were supposed to make room for me. Why is nobody calling on me? Why do I have to be in this place? No, while you're waiting, your assignment in that waiting period is for you to develop yourself, is for you to ensure that your gift is becoming more excellent, that the mastery of that gift is being invested in. You are investing in working with a coach. Just like even I, as a coach, I work with a coach of my own. I work with experts who have skills beyond what I have to help me get better and to become more in my space of genius, in my giftings. So I was talking to one of my partners yesterday, and he was giving me some pointers. He was giving me some pointers on how I could make this thing better, and how he really sees a very bright future for what I'm building or what I've built, and how much further it can go. And I was just listening, and it was like, I said, I'm taking notes, I'm listening. Because even as highly qualified as I am, as gifted as I am, I still get to learn and glean from other people. Because for every season in my life that I'm planting, I'm sowing the seeds, in between moments is something that I've become accustomed to. I've become accustomed to the wait. The wait is when I get better. The wait is when I get stronger. The wait is when I grow my stamina. Because when the time comes after the wait, because time and chance happens to them all. Because the Bible says the race is not to the swift. Because it's not how fast you're running. Trust me, I can tell you stories for days on running fast and getting nowhere quickly. Running fast and getting nowhere quickly. And the battle is not to the strong, being highly qualified and having all the credentials, but not having the results to show for it. But it is God that shows mercy. It is God that shows mercy. And time and chance happens to us all. So the wait is very important. So what do you do while you're waiting? I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do while you're waiting. You can invest in personal development. That is very, very important. Invest in personal development. That's a very critical thing, because who you are will be the person that sustains you when your time comes. And you don't want to be the person who is not able to be sustained. I mean, your skills and your gifts will open the door, get you through the door. But you know, your character, your mindset, who you see yourself as, your identity, the way you portray yourself, the way you present yourself, that's what will sustain you in those rooms when the doors are open. So after the wait is over and the doors open, and then you show up and you open up your mouth, like people say, when you open up your mouth, you tell people who you are. You know, they see you, they look at you well put together, all nice and dapper, nice looking young man, beautiful lady, all nice and everything on peg, everything on fleek, everything. And then you open your mouth. You open your mouth and people are like, okay. And there is silence in the room, and it's like, okay, we really thought differently of this person, but now, not so much. You know, I was looking at this viral video on social media, and I'm definitely not against anyone, because the reality of the matter is I came to find out that the mindset of a generation is expressed from when we hear some people talk. So when someone is saying something and everyone is coming down on them and saying, how can you say that? No, they are actually speaking the mind of a generation. They are speaking the mind of a specific group of people. They are not alone in that thought process. As foreign as it might be for us to look at a young lady who will sit on social media and say a man has to pay her for her to look beautiful. So a man coming into her space would have to pay her because she's a beautiful girl. I don't subscribe to that. And frankly, I just feel saddened by the fact that this is what our our world has turned people to believe in themselves. This is what the content on social media, this is what the content on mainstream media has pushed some people to be indoctrinated to believe that that is the reality that they need to own up to. That is who they need to be. So when I hear things like that, I'm like, oh my goodness, who indoctrinated this person? Who made them believe that this is the only way to go? So it's just really about helping people to see a better way, helping them to learn a better way to be. It's not about criticizing and judging and pulling people down. And because the reality of the matter is, when a person has that mindset, there is a reason behind the mindset that they have. There's an experience that has guided them to believe that, okay, everything that I have come to experience till now, this is where it has brought me, and this is the best I believe I can do. We only know what we know. And when we know, all we can do with is what we know and what we have. But when we know better, we can absolutely do better. So rather than criticize people when they seem to be off base, at least offline with what you believe in, it's better for us to show them love and to really sort of emulate and exemplify a better way for them to be. So I really always advocate that, when you have a platform and you're using it, use it for good, especially people who are looked up to, who are leaders. It's very important. So let's get back to the weight conversation, guys. Hi, today. Good morning. Thanks for joining me this morning. Let's get back to the weight conversation. What do you do while you're waiting? Because in the law of life that God created, he says seed time and harvest time will continue. But when he talks about seed time and harvest time, the part where we miss as humans is we want to plant that seed today, the microwave generation that we are, in a hurry to get everything. Gimme, my name is Jimmy. Don't waste my time now. We forget the fact that the seed has to germinate. The seed has to die. Unless a grain of corn falls to the ground, the Bible says, and it dies, it cannot multiply. So anything that you plant, any gift that you are given, that gift has to be put through different things. It has to be killed, and then it will resurrect again. I don't know if that makes sense, but if that connects to you. But what I'm trying to say is the wait is when you are really honing and really fine-tuning your gift. So yes, I'm a huge advocate of everyone is gifted. Everyone has value to offer. But your gift is not going to come out the gate excellent. Excellence comes with time. Excellence comes with mastery. Excellence comes with personal development. Excellence comes with making additional investment in your gift to ensure that it does what it needs to do. Ask any great person. Ask any great person, whether in the church or in the secular world, any space in the business world, in the marketplace, they will tell you. Even for me as a business owner, I can tell you stories for days. I'm gifted. Yes, I know it. And I came to realize it a couple of years ago. But did that mean that automatically my gift started to make me millions and billions? It will eventually. But the reality of the matter is I've had to endure seasons of waiting, seasons of obscurity, when nobody was inviting me, when nobody was giving me the opportunity, when nobody knew my name, when nobody heard me speak. But I had to wait. But I waited in a way that my waiting was very weird. While I was waiting, I was also being stubborn and I was trying not to wait. And that's what I want to teach my students to understand. Yes, while you're waiting, there is a way to wait that ensures that when your time comes, when you step on that stage, when the spotlight is on you, you're able to show up and show out, and you show the glory of him that sent you. So that when people see you, the Bible says that so that men may see my good works and glorify the name of my Father. Because when men see your good works, they're going to wonder that whose child is that? Have you ever been to a place where you see a little child or you meet a child, and that child is so well-mannered, well-cultured, very respectful, very well-behaved? The first thing you're thinking as a parent is, who is the parent of this child? Who gave birth to this child? Wow. they've done good work. Because that's what you really want to know. Where did this person come from? You automatically want to get their identity, like, man, I need to know who this person is. You know, I've gotten a lot of speaking engagements from just people hearing me speak at another person's event. They're like, oh, wow, we would love for you to come speak for us. We would love for you to come address this issue in our community. I got a call this morning just asking me to implement one of my programs within my foundation that I've implemented here in the US and in Nigeria. The person's like, I think that's going to be a good fit for what we're trying to do. Would you mind collaborating with us? But trust me, we didn't get those types of offers 9 years ago when the foundation started. We didn't get those offers 7 years ago, 6 years ago. But as we continue to stay steady in the things that we were doing, now we have gained credibility and we have gained stamina over time. And integrity has kept us. And now people are saying, now I want to work with you. I ran into a lady on Saturday who I did not know personally, but who had known me since 2016. She knew me from when I started the foundation. And fortunately for me, when I met her in that space, I was actually speaking about the foundation and I was proposing our initiatives to somebody who could be a potential donor and sponsor. And she just looked at me and said, is that Dr. O? I said, yes, that's Dr. O. I turned around and I said, yeah. And she's like, I know you. I've known you since when? She started talking about my boy. She started talking about my life in the past. And she mentioned, I was at your very first beauty pageant for your foundation. Do you remember? And I was like, yes, I do. If you know that much about me, then obviously you were there. You were at the foundation's launch when we launched our programs. She even remembered, that was in 2016, right? I said, oh my goodness. Yes, that was in 2016. So she had followed my journey, even though we had not been in, like they say, the degree of separation, right? She knew me, at least she knew me, she knew my work, she was familiar with my body of work, but I did not know her. But based on the recollection and the evidences that she gave and everything, the lady was just looking at us and I was like, oh my God, she knows everything. I said, what are the odds? I'm talking about the foundation, sharing all of these things. And here I am having a witness who has not really been active in my life, but has been aware of everything over the years. And she was able to immediately offer a high level of credibility to everything I was trying to share. And I did not even need to say anything much more because she literally did the work for me right there. And this lady or this person I was kind of trying to get on board signed up, came on board, was able to offer like, okay, what do you guys need? Now the conversation shifted. And now listen, if I was in a hurry and just gave up and decided that this thing I've been doing for all these years, there's no return on investment, there's no support, there's no this, and I stopped, that testimony would not have happened this weekend. And then I had shared something with the same person because now we reconnected. Now I know her. And I'm like, hey, let me bring you into my circle. Let me share some of my world with you. So I shared some information with her about an event that's coming up. And she was like, she sent me a message. And I had to screenshot that message because it just brought a tear to my eye to say, I am so glad to see that you are extremely consistent. Since 2016, you have been putting out great work. And I'm like, not really. Then it was really, really mediocre compared to what we're doing right now. Dr. O is on another level, but she was able to identify the fact that I have been expressing my gift. I have been expressing my creativity for all of these years consistently. And even now that she's coming back in contact with me, I am still on that steady path of offering value, using my gifts and abilities to be a blessing to the world. That is validation. You know, even when you think you're the most confident person, you're a leader, you know you got it, you're visionary. You don't need anyone to come and tell you you're great because you breathe greatness. You know who you serve, you know who you answer to, you know that God has got you. But you know, when you get that validation from your fellow human being, flesh and blood, it does something to you. It does something to you that makes you feel good. And I pray over and over and say, God, as much as this is doing good for me, I don't want to get to a point where it gets to my head and my head swells bigger than my body and I feel like I've arrived, because I will never arrive, because I'm always going to be surrendered to the authority of God and Christ. He's the one that leads. is the one that gives me the ability to will and to do. So the waiting time is the time for you to master your personal development. It's for you to express your gifts. And that is the time for you to also develop a strong relationship with the gift giver. We're back to the gift giver. It's all about him. It starts and ends with him. It's the beginning and the end. So please, if you don't want to hear me talk about the gift giver, and you're wondering who's the gift giver, he's God Almighty. He's Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior. So we're back to him. That is the waiting time, is the time for you to solidify your relationship with him or him. I read a story in the Bible, Second Chronicles, chapter 26. When you have time, go and read it. It's the story of King Uzziah, who got on the throne at age 16. And I was reading the story and it was good. It got so good and I was like, oh, prayer points. I must be helped like this man until I am very strong. But then it just stopped right there. And then suddenly this morning I decided to read a little further. You know how we are Christians, right? We read the Bible, we get the promise and we forget all of the contingency things that we have to do to get the promise, and we skip the one that comes when he says when this and this. So we skip the part that I am blessed, and when we focus on the part where it says I am blessed. That's good, it sounds good. And then we skip the part where it talks about the fact that, okay, if you do not do this, then there is a curse that comes. We don't want to read that one. We don't want to negotiate that part. That part is not in our dictionary. We don't want to learn about it. So it's people read further. Let me complete this chapter since I'm already reading it. And it happened that all of the good works that this king, so great, who honored God, his father honored God before he went to be with his forefathers. So when he ascended the throne at 16, he also took after his father, seeking the face of God, honoring God, building a strong kingdom. People were supporting him. He had great mighty men of valor. He had huge armies. He had people who were plowing the fields. He had people who were digging wells. His kingdom was thriving. He had cunning men that built extreme devices that were able to fight wars for them. In those days, when you have, it's like technology now, it's like the nuclear weapon. It's like the nations that have nuclear artillery, they are stronger than other nations that don't have it. He had all of those advanced technology in those days. So he was a very strong king, and his fame and his name was all over the place. Everybody knew him because God was with him. And he was greatly and marvelously helped. And because he was greatly and marvelously helped, he grew strong and big. And it was a very steady kingdom. His kingdom was prosperous and he became strong. Because from age 16, he was doing everything. He was doing everything and he became strong. But when he became strong, what happened? When he became strong, he became big in his head. He decided to feel like, it is me. I am the king. I am strong. I have achieved. I have arrived. And he started going against the God that raised him up. And of course, at the end of his life, he ended up with leprosy and he did not end well. He did not end well. And I said, oh, God, okay. So for me, the bigger prayer point was, God, okay, while I am waiting for my time, while I'm waiting, because everybody is in a waiting season. It's just the type of waiting is different. Your waiting is different from my waiting. Some people are waiting on the ground floor. Some people are waiting on the 5th floor. Some people are waiting on the 7th floor. Some people are, even Dangote is waiting for some. Everybody is in a different season of waiting. But while you're waiting, there are things to be done while you're waiting. To solidify your home base, to make your gift stronger, to develop it to excellence. So when your time comes, the time comes when the opportunity is made available. When opportunity opens up, that is when you begin to know that it is my time. When opportunity for you to sing, to perform at a concert, which you never had before, it is your time. When things begin to come, the demand for your gifts, people are coming, the request is coming, more and more people are seeing and hearing, someone is willing to pay you for something, your time has come. But before your time comes, you don't want to get there, they are ready to pay you because, of course, they see you as something, and then you now deliver flat. Your delivery falls flat. That is when you have wasted your waiting. That is when the wait was a waste. And then you're going to have to circle back to the waiting period. So that's why you see that, some people, they rise fast, and then they come crumbling down because their lives, their gift was not built, the foundation of their gifts was not solidified. Yes, they are gifted. But now, because they are gifted, they rose, they did not build character with the gift. They did not build excellence with the gift. They did not have common courtesy with the gift. Some people are so gifted, but they are the most rude. In fact, I don't want to say rudest. In fact, that's the word. Let me make it. They are the rudest people. They don't have manners. Papa, wow, new home training. Come on, nothing. They are so mean. They are rude to everyone. The people that work for them, they talk to them anyhow. The people that serve them, they talk to them anyhow. As if it's not one mother that gave birth to you and one mother that gave birth to them. You know, and then because they are gifted and they are talented and they are superstars, they have horrible character. Horrible. They are not nice. It's like when you are talented, does it mean that you cannot be nice? If you are popular and famous, does it mean you cannot be nice? Did somebody make a rule book to say talented people should be horrible people? That they should be arrogant and proud? Because the reality of the matter is the gifts of God, it makes rich and adds no sorrow. The gift of God, it makes rich and adds no sorrow, because the intent of God's gift on your life is to enrich you and enrich others. It's not to make people sad. It's not for you to come into a place as a gifted person and the people around you feel like they feel belittled, they feel less than, they feel like they are not worthy to carry the shoes that you, I don't even know how people come about all of these things. You become this Godzilla human being that is so overbearing, that makes unreasonable demands just because now you know that your gifts have made room for you. And you enter into that room and you splatter bad behavior everywhere. You splatter bad character everywhere. So your waiting time, you wasted it. You did not build character. You did not develop yourself personally. You did not develop a mindset that is resilient. Some people in the waiting time, that's when you develop resilience. You know, in the first few years of a new business, that business owner has to have a very tough, winning mindset that tells them that, look, no matter what it looks like today, the vision for this business, this brand, this life that I have is that I'm going to serve 10 million people, that I'm going to be known all over the nations of the world, that I'm going to speak on world stages. But right now that nobody's calling me and things are not popping like the way I want them to pop off, guess what? I'm going to be here honing my skills. I'm going to be here developing myself. I'm going to be here showing up every day, telling everyone that, look at me, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I'm going to be practicing every day. I tell my kids this, I say, listen, your future is predictable. You know why future is predictable? Because the things that you are practicing now, the character traits, the behavioral patterns, the disciplines that you're practicing now, or the ones you are refusing to practice now, that's what's going to give you your report card tomorrow. Your report card is waiting for you. So everyone has, and even for me that I teach these things, I have to constantly remind myself as the teacher to say, you have to be the captain of these things. You have to lead from the front. If you're telling people all of these things, you have to lead. Your life has to lead from the front. So it's not easy for anybody. So the waiting time is not easy, but the grace of God is sufficient for us to do right when we wait. So that by the time our gifts are ready to be announced, so that by the time we're ready to launch, like right now working with Coach Emily, she's getting me ready to relaunch one of my programs, the DYG Challenge. And even though I'm experienced and a veteran in the personal brand space, I still needed some help and support to teach me certain things, to be able to know what to do, how to approach things. So guys, listen, if everything that I'm saying on this slide is resonating with you, I have a challenge coming up on July 1st. It's called the Discover Your Gift Challenge. Discover Your Gift Challenge is a 3-day free intensive that allows me to help guide you to not only discover what your God-given gift is, develop a relationship with the gift giver, but really be able to identify the unique problems you are uniquely created to solve. And then that way you can take it to the next level and go deeper and deeper, because I have other coaching programs as well. So if the DYG Challenge sounds like something you'd be interested in, DM me the word gift, not on the live. Please send me a DM for the word gift, and I will send you a link to join the group and the community for registration. We have free registration and we also have VIP access. Every level has a different, what's it called? Different perks to it. But we want to make sure everyone is taken care of. We have the regular access and we have the VIP access. You know, the DYG challenge is really going to help you get to that place of just starting your journey. And this particular challenge is for anyone who is looking for more in their lives, who doesn't really know exactly what their gifts are. So a lot of people, you'd be amazed, a lot of people do not know what their gifts are, what they're created to do. Yes, they know that they have a job, they know that they went to school, they have a degree, they have some skills and certifications and qualifications, but do you know what your God-given gift is? It's very important to your assignment as a human being on this earth to discover your gift. So that when you know what your gifts are and you are in the waiting period, you actually wait with intention. While you're waiting, in the seasons of your life where you feel like nothing is happening, something is actually happening, because that is the time where you develop mastery of your gifts. That is the time where you build up your gifts to a level of excellence to present it. That is the time when things are supposed to be getting you ready for you to develop character, for you to develop a strong mindset, for you to develop a very focus that is not going to be shifted when you get to your time and the opportunity that would allow you to present your gifts to the world. So the wait is a part of everyone's journey. You know, seed time and harvest time, like I said at the beginning, that is what God tells us. It's not going to change. As long as we're still here, seed time, harvest time. You plant the seed, but the part that we don't want to focus on, like me, I'm very impatient. I don't want to wait. I want it to happen. We are like the microwave generation. It's okay. But the reality is, microwave is not going to cut it when it comes to your gifts. Microwave is not going to cut it when it comes to your destiny. Microwave is not going to cut it when you're trying to live a purposeful life. There's no shortcut. Thank you, sir. Microwave is not going to cut it. The wait is the wait. And everyone has a waiting period. And like I said, some people are waiting on the ground floor because they start. It's okay. Some people, we are waiting on the 5th, 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever floor you are on. I say, like I said earlier, everybody waits. Even Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men, when he invests in the stock market, he's got to wait to see what's going to happen. He's waiting like, do I pull out? He has to wait for his investments to mature. Everybody gets to wait. But you just have to know, what are you doing while you're waiting? While you're waiting, like I said, number one, I said, you wait and you develop yourself. Personal development is important. You have to invest in yourself. You have to develop your mindset so that when you get to that time and chance, when the opportunity comes and your time is there, they're like, yes, come on, let's go. Come speak, come sing. You open your mouth and people are like, oh, wow, you were worth the wait. It was nice. I was really glad that I came to this conference to hear you speak. Not that you open your mouth and they're like, Bola Jasibai, where did we land? Where did we end up? Where is this? What's going on here? What's happening here? What's happening? You know, but people are excited when they see you, because during your waiting period, you developed your skill. You brought it to a level of excellence that when you open your mouth, people are like, whoa. And then during your waiting period, when people experience you as a person, they are happy, they are excited, they are better. The blessings of God in your life is making them richer. It's making them better. It's not like they experience you like, oh my gosh, she is so nasty. He is so rude. He's such a horrible human being. You don't want to deal with that guy. Yes, he has a lot of money, but he is so full of it. You know, come on now. So during your waiting period, build character. Build character. Develop your gifts. Make it more valuable. Up your game, up your ante. Research, study to show yourself approved. The wait is important. It's not irrelevant. It's not the time where somebody's punishing you. It's not God's punishment on you to not have your blessings quickly. Like, give me. My name is Jimmy. Oh, please calm down. Do you know, as parents, we have little kids who's like, we're like, mom. You're like, calm down. It will be ready when it will be ready. And until the food is ready, I cannot give it to you. The same thing God is telling us, the same thing that we have to endure as adults. You're gifted, yes. Your gifts are amazing. They are going to burst you wide open on the world stage. But before you burst wide open on the world stage, you have to get the waiting period right so that time and chance will favor you. Time and chance happens to everyone as I close up this live. Time and chance happens to everyone, but it doesn't favor everyone. Some people get under the spotlight and they melt because they can't withstand the pressure. Some people get the opportunity that they've been praying for, and that is the opportunity that will make them lose their family. It will make them lose their friends. It will make them lose themselves, and they miss it, and they just be destroyed and consumed by that thing that they really prayed for, because during the wait, they were not developing character. They were not developing skills. They were not doing anything to better the gift that God gave them. So your gifts will make room for you. Definitely. That is undeniable. That is unquestionable. That is something that we cannot argue about. It's certain. But when the room is made, how do you maintain your space? How do you obtain and gain and just take that dominion that God has given you? How do you maintain it? All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. But listen, it's so important for you to register in the DYG challenge. Coming up July 1st through the 3rd, I would really love to have you in the challenge. It's going to be an amazing 3 days of intensive gift discovery activities that you're absolutely going to love. So drop the gift in my DM. Just write the word gift in my DM, and I will send you a link to join our group where you get to register for the free access. Of course, everybody gets it free, but then we also have a VIP upgrade for those who really want more. You know, there's always more, right? There's always more. So we have the free access, and we also have the VIP access for those of my wonderful community members who always want more. So guys, DYG challenge coming July 1st through the 3rd. Dr. OJ is excited and looking forward to having you guys on those 3 days. But for today, don't forget that the wait is important. Do all that you need to do to better yourself during the wait. Do well to share this live. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. OJ Speaks TV. Make sure you go subscribe. There's amazing content on there on several different topics beyond what you see on Instagram. And of course, follow me on all social media platforms. It's Dr. OJ Speaks. Every platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, of course, TikTok, of course, Snapchat, of course, I'm there. And of course, YouTube. Subscribe, turn your notifications on. Grow, help me grow my community. Help me grow. Be part of this process. Join me on this journey. I love to have you guys on here. So thank you once again. It's been another amazing time on this live. And you guys know how I like to end my live, right? Can anyone guess? Anybody? As always, you know, I love you. Bye, guys. Bye.